We are on live. Hello,
Well, man.
everybody. Welcome to our broadcast. My name is Barish. So it's been more than 10 days since last broadcast, and finally we are here. And today we'll be with John, and we are gonna talk about future of Bitcoin. And also, John will show us the levels of Bitcoin and also support and resistance levels. Then we will predict the price, where it might go. I will share what I think and I'll answer the general questions like, do we still wait a big drop before the bull run starts? And is it a good point to buy spots, etc.? Something like these questions. And so before we start, I would like to say the reason of this pump. But before I start the explaining of the reason of the pump, I would like to say, hi, John, how are you?
Hey, Barish, how are you, man? How is everything with you?
I'm super. I'm super. How are you?
I'm very hyped actually after the recent Bitcoin news.
Are
Even
you?
though most of them are the fake news, but still, it's good to see some green on the market finally.
That's perfect, mate. That's perfect. So, as I said at the beginning, I will give you the mic, but before I give the mic, and I'm gonna explain the reason what happened last week. Is that okay
Surely,
for you?
of course.
Okay. Okay. So, guys, as you know, BlackRock's iShares listed on DTCC last week. And by the way, John, can you also share your screen as well
Uh,
while I'm speaking? But it will be better to show at the same time.
Certainly. One moment, please.
All right. No worries.
I think it is visible, right?
Yeah, just a
Mm-hmm.
second. Yeah, perfect. Alrighty. All right, guys. I'm gonna start from scratch. So, as you know, BlackRock's iShares listed on DTCC, and in a night, Bitcoin suddenly pumped over $36,000, and I think we saw around like $37,000 on
Almost.
margin.
Mm-hmm.
So all crypto investors, big companies, brands, or commercials, everybody who related to cryptocurrencies have been waiting ETF approvals for a long time. Okay. So it really have been long time, guys. That's why many of us tired of big drops, losing money and uncertainty, especially uncertainty. So Bitcoin is suffering, and halving is coming up soon. Is that your dog?
Every time when I try to record something or do a live, there is always something. So I think someone is doing some sort of construction or something. I'm not sure.
That's okay. This is Turkey,
Yeah,
bro. It happens all the time. So yeah, I'll keep speaking. So
yes,
guys,
but
as you
my
know,
neighbors.
we never know what happens and what's gonna happen in the cryptocurrency industry. And is it gonna drop under 20K or is it gonna touch $40,000 again? I don't know. I can't predict actually. And if you ask me what I think, like the technical analysis is not working for me because there are many factors affecting the market. So some of my friends ask me the levels of buying spots and buying spots. Actually, I really don't know what to say because it's a time when news are priced. I'm gonna give you an example about it, and it's getting weird day by day because this means one day you can see XRP case affects cryptocurrency, whole cryptocurrency, and the other day, like ETF news may causing a big drop or big pump. Maybe next day, biggest one of the biggest Chinese company like Evergrande is bankrupt. So many things happen in cryptocurrency, like this kind of news. So I check the charts when the market is stable. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. So if you want to make money, you should follow our blog and website as well. I want to say that. And also, I made a video about it yesterday. I'll publish it today. So in this video, I'll talk about all assets actually, not only Bitcoin or gold or silver. What I'm gonna say is before we start the broadcast, I made a little research and I put my things in orders. Now I'm trying to explain what happened and what I think. So if you describe yourself as an investor, you should invest on different assets. So do you agree with me, John?
I do. And also, I would like to add something that currently, since Bitcoin is already at its, I think, 1 year high, At the moment, it is really not good. It's not a good idea to buy either Bitcoin or any altcoin, which I will also highlight what I'm going to say in the upcoming minutes. So please do
Mhm.
continue.
All right. So guys, as I said, like as you can see the Bitcoin charts, I mean if you buy Bitcoin or silver or gold, or you can buy any of these in a day, or you can buy the other one on the other day. So it doesn't matter because you have to diversify your portfolio. Your like if you describe yourself as an investor, you can have any of them, a little amount maybe. And also, what do you think about the next resistance, John?
Let's have a look at the chart right now. And again, I'm sorry about my neighbors at the moment.
Mhm.
So, what do we see is on a daily time frame that Bitcoin had a cup formation, which it's
Mhm.
actually still a cup formation if you think about it. Okay, we have this part, but what might happen is that if this Bitcoin ETF announcements finally come through, finally come as a real, which I think it will happen in the next month, Bitcoin price is highly anticipated to be on the 49,000 level, which if we put a support and resistance zones in one in here, for example, 45,000, and let's put another one, which was right there, which is 31,000. Let's zoom it a little bit.
Mhm.
So, right now, after this fake ETF news, I'm still saying it's fake because as you know, like there is no such certain thing at the moment because I think you will mention it, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Recently, they said that BlackRock will accept the ETFs. There was some news about it, and also before that, Cointelegraph around this area submitted a false news, which caused the Bitcoin price to increase about, I think it was 20%. Yeah, almost 20%. And also, because of this news,
Mhm.
altcoins had a beautiful rally. Most of them had about 30%, 40% increases, which at the moment you can see all of them are on red because right now the crypto market is, as always, as usual, still unstable. But what will happen now is that if you want to buy Bitcoin or any altcoin, this is not the place to buy it because right now it's on 34,000 level and there is no support or resistance lines connected to any of these areas. What might happen is that Bitcoin, in my opinion, will fall back to 31,000, which is about 7.72% decrease, which if 7.72% decrease means in altcoins is approximately 20% decreases. So if you buy now, you will most likely lose at least 20% of your value. So what you should do instead of that, you should wait until Bitcoin fall back to 31,800, which I think it will happen sooner than we expected because as I said again, there were so many false accusations about the ETFs and other news as well. And also SEC is losing so many cases right now, which is
Mhm.
another bullish signal in my opinion. And if you look at the RSI, you can see that it is at its highest peak. So obviously it will fall. And also, if you look at the MACD, we say that MACD is on it turned from green to white, which means that it will in the next upcoming days it will go back to red again, which means that it will fall. And
So
in
are you
my
waiting?
personal opinion, actually, if I would say, I honestly think that Bitcoin will even fall further than 31,800 because think about it, guys. If everyone is expecting a bull rally, if everyone is entering into Bitcoin or any altcoins at the moment, the big companies, crypto whales, and other influential people, they don't want you to buy. Well, they don't want to buy at least at these high levels. They want to buy at, for example, 20,000 or 26,000 level. So most people are actually waiting at the moment for Bitcoin to fall, or at least for some newcomers to enter so that they can steal their money. I'm not saying take, but they can steal their money. It is highly common in Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies.
So according to your speech, I
Mhm.
understand that you don't wait deeper drop, right? Like,
Exactly.
but
I will wait until Bitcoin fall back to 31,000. And even then, I will wait a little bit more to see if the Bitcoin will actually break that support zone, which I highly anticipate that it will break that support zone in the
is it the
upcoming days.
last support for you to buy some altcoins or others?
If Bitcoin falls back to 26,000, as you can see on the screen,
Mm-hmm.
I will start buying more altcoins. But
Oh,
also
yeah.
at the moment, the altcoins are actually not having too much increase or decrease because the Bitcoin dominance is also quite high. Let's check a Bitcoin dominance, for example. Here
Mm-hmm.
it says the Bitcoin dominance is. I'm not sure if you can see the Bitcoin dominance screens on the screen, but
Yeah, we see it.
it's actually, you can see that it's quite high considering to the other years, like from 2021 till 2022, and now 2023. We can see that Bitcoin dominance is going back to 30, almost 54%. This dominance has to fall back to, let's say, 50% before I enter into any altcoin. Otherwise, it's just a waste of money. It's a gamble,
That's yeah.
basically.
That's exactly, yeah. It's a gamble. So you are also SUI investors. I know it, but
Exactly. Actually, Sui is one of my gem, Badr and gem, I would say. Despite most people don't like Sui, but I really enjoy Sui community and Sui ecosystem. I made my latest Sui purchase back around 38 cents, and right now it's about like 43 cents, which is was at 45 cents, but I will not going to sell it until 58 cents, for example. And for Sui, it is highly possible because recently the United States announced that they will allow Sui purchases for their citizens. But sadly, there is not enough volume in the market on any currency. It's fine that, okay, maybe a few days ago Mina had 100% increase, but
yeah.
in every Bitcoin pump, there is one coin that does at least like 30 or 40% increases. Even Pepe coin made about, I think, 40% increase in the last week, if I'm not mistaken. But this is all about, taking the new investors. It's all about like getting that
Like
hype for the newcomers that, okay,
exactly.
some guy says, wow, I don't know anything about cryptocurrencies, but I see that Bitcoin is rising. So maybe I should give it a try. And when they enter into the market, what happens? Bitcoin crashes, altcoins crashes, they lose money, and then the big guys enter and they take their money. That's how it works every time.
So according to your explanation right now, we don't have to buy any altcoin or we don't have to invest in Bitcoin, right?
Exactly. Well, you
Until
can buy
we
some
got a big
altcoins. For
drop,
example,
until
if you
35.
do
Yeah.
really enjoy the project, if you think that the project will is sustainable on the long
Mhm.
run as well, then you can buy some altcoins despite their price level, because you know that in the long run that they will make a profit
Mhm.
for you. So what I'm doing is, for myself, is that I'm a day trader, right? So for me, even the 5% or 10% daily is important. But if I was a long-term investor, honestly, the price levels wouldn't mean too much. For example, let's say I bought Aptos at this level, which is, I think, at around $6 right now. Yeah, $6.4.
Yeah.
If I buy Aptos, for example, which actually, as you can see, I am also quite, analyzing the Aptos and other cryptocurrencies as well on a daily basis. But let's say I bought Aptos right now and Aptos went back to $5.3, or again, back in this gray area about $3.2 or whatever. Then what happens? I will lose probably about my 30% of the, yeah, even 40, and even 50% of my
More
money's
than,
value.
yeah.
So what will happen, that psychologically I will lose it. I will either sell it, or I will go in a depression or something. But if I'm a long-term investor, it really doesn't matter if I buy it at six level, at $6, at $7, at $3, etc. Because I know that on the long run it will go back to $20 again. So that's what I mean. Like, if you are an investor, the price levels are really, this doesn't matter that much. As long as you trust on the project, as long as you continue, you pursue the news of the project, you can buy at any level. But if you're a day trader, or let's say even if you're a scalp trader, for example, or margin trader, this is not a really good time to invest in any altcoins or any cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin, Ethereum, it really doesn't matter. It's not a good idea right now, because most people already get their gains. Most people already lost incredible amounts of money. So do you want to be one of those guys who lose? I don't think that you want to be that guy. So it's better to wait. Patience is the key in crypto markets.
Yeah, I wish everybody think like you, because I know a couple of my friends who
Mm-hmm.
invested in a project when it's in peak time, like high season, and then they are now like, okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna invest anymore on any coin. It's not for me. I'm gonna invest on stocks or other stuff. So that's not good for us, because we need new investors and more money in
This is
bullion.
a lack of knowledge and lack of patience, I would say. If you
Exactly,
don't
yeah.
know anything about the cryptocurrencies or any market, any stock market or anything, if you don't follow the news, which is a fundamental analysis, if you don't do fundamental analysis, actually the technical analysis is nothing. It really doesn't mean much. Okay, I put some resistance zones, some supply zones, I can put some formations in there too, but does it really mean anything? Not necessarily. Fundamental analysis is the key. So you have to follow the markets, you have to follow the news, you have to follow the important people who what they say, and based on their insights, you can decide either buy or sell or wait. Otherwise, it's really just a waste of money and time.
It is, yeah. Especially based off the news, not only technical analysis. Every day happens different things. Like one day, as I said, yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing again, but as I said, like the biggest Chinese company, like Evergrande, it's bankrupt, and Bitcoin like shows the biggest drop to like 25K, I think, if I'm not wrong.
You're
And
right.
maybe other day, like we see the fake ETF news, and the next day we see like XRPKs affects cryptocurrency, blah blah blah. So yeah, so that's why I think, as I said before, I don't prefer to talk considering like support or resistant
Actually, when
level.
you said XRP, that is one of the most accurate examples of what I was trying to say about fundamental analysis. Because, as you know, when the SEC dropped the case against XRP, what happened? XRP increased about 100 and hold on, sorry, this is daily chart. My bad, sorry. It
Mhm.
increased about 100% almost. So if at that time you were following the news and you had some XRP, then you would gain about 2 times of the value of your investments.
Yeah.
But you
After
cannot
you
do that with the technical charts only. Like in the technical charts, if you look at it, what will you see? Let's, for example, have a look at that exact moment when the XRP did its peak. What do you see is that, even on the RSI level, it wasn't at the bottom, it wasn't at anywhere near bottom. But what happened? It suddenly increased. Why? Because SEC dropped the case about XRP. So this is why the fundamental analysis is the quite important part of the cryptocurrencies or any other investment such as stocks or commodities.
Yeah, they are basic. They are trying to manipulate the markets, all markets, as you said, SEC
Exactly.
is not doing well their job. That's why I reckon about Bitcoin. I'm gonna share my prediction. I reckon I've been waiting a big drop, not like
Mm-hmm.
31 or $32,000. Since there have been a developments regarding the Ripple news, like
Mm-hmm.
like last maybe for 6 months. I've been waiting like around like 20K,
Mm-hmm.
because yeah.
Actually, that's a good insight that you made. I'm gonna just put one more chart for you guys,
Mm-hmm.
which it is exactly what you said. You see, like basically on this type of formations, which is ascending triangle, prices often fall back into some certain levels. And if what you said happens, which It is quite possible that will happen. The Bitcoin price will go back to, okay, let's say it's at the moment in here, $18,000. Is it not possible? It is quite possible.
It's quite
So,
possible.
these are all predictions. But again, like even 26,000 for me is a buy level. It may go back to 18,000. So what? I will buy more if I'm making an investment.
Yep, that's correct. But especially we have to explain the reason of this drop. So
Mm-hmm.
because some people say no, it's just a myth. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen again. I think like it's gonna drop around like 20K because, but it's gonna happen before March because the March is a due date for approval ETFs. Okay, but after March, in April, maybe in May, in June, in July, I'm waiting a big rise for BTC, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. But until March, it's still risky for me. I'm not gonna invest in any other cryptocurrencies.
There were news about Ethereum that if Bitcoin crashes right now, the
Mhm.
Ethereum will fall back about $800, which is the lowest low I think the Ethereum ever had after its first peak. Right now is Ethereum how much? $1,800 or something like that, I guess. I haven't checked it, but let me check how much is Ethereum worth right
Mhm.
now.
Okay. While we are checking the Ethereum price, I would like to say that the reason
Almost
of the drop.
1,000, almost $1,800 right now, the Ethereum. But if Bitcoin crashes again, this is the Ethereum chart, it will fall back to $800, basically.
Yeah,
So what will happen is that you will lose about $1,000 just because you invest in the wrong time.
if you are not rich.
If you're not rich, then yes, which most of us are
Yeah.
not rich, We are living on a daily basis, on daily gains. Like if I lose today, then tomorrow what I'm gonna eat? That's my first and foremost concern about the investments that I always make. So you have to be smart. You don't have to be greedy, but you have to be smart. You have to be patient. Those are the keys.
Yeah. And also, I have to tell my followers that like inflation and interest rate news in America created like uncertainty on Bitcoin. What does it mean? Like, guys, we haven't seen a huge decrease so far. Okay, because some analysis say. By the way, as I said at the beginning of the broadcast, I made a video yesterday, and it's gonna be public today. In this video, I made a big research, and I see that most of the analysis like say last 50 years, gold and bonds are trustworthy assets, but not now. Okay, people don't trust bonds anymore because some people are looking for safe haven to invest their money, and they don't trust in government in America. And also at this point we see Bitcoin instead of American bonds, gold and Bitcoin. People don't interest in bonds anymore. So if you ask my opinion, I don't see any obstacle for Bitcoin or any other reliable altcoins such as XRP on and other altcoins. But yeah, that's why I've been waiting 20K, and Bitcoin is gonna be one of the most trustworthy assets maybe in 5 years.
Exactly. If this ETF news finally, like if this ETF ever happens, which it will happen, but when it happens, Bitcoin price is highly possible to be 100,000 or $150,000 in the long run, because as you just said, people lose their trust in governments and banking systems every day. And what happens when people lose their trust in the banking systems? They invest in Bitcoin or they invest in gold.
Yeah.
And speaking of gold and oil, what do you think of the oil prices at the moment? Do you think that the latest, well, it's a war, actually, latest war about, for example, Israel and Palestine, for example. Do you think it has any effects on oil prices per barrel?
Mm, no. So, but I have to say that did you see the chart of the oil, Brent oil?
I think last time it was about
It's
$80 or
like
something.
it should be around like $88 or something.
Let's have a check.
Yeah.
$87. Actually, yes, you're right. It's even decreasing in a way.
Yeah, I'm gonna
But
check
for
the
how long?
4-hour chart. Just give me a second, man. Yeah.
It is decreasing, but it is also decreasing on
But
an
I mean,
increasing
it's
trend.
not like a
So
big decrease. Like it's
so
still,
maybe before it falls back again, it might come back to $98, maybe by the end of this year.
yeah.
Almost, yeah.
There's a big potential after the big war, like Ukraine, Russia, or Israel and Palestine. Uh, we've been waiting for a big drop, like around like $85. I also
Mhm.
showed it in my video as well. But some people wait for a big pump, like around $95 end of this year.
It is
But
highly
we
possible.
we can't predict any of the results of this war. It might go down or up.
It most probably will go up because every time when the war happens or any kind of uncertainty happens in the world,
Mhm.
what happens? The oil price increases, the gold price increases, mortgages increases, lands and territories increases,
Mhm.
inflation increases, which is what happens right now. Ever since the COVID happened, actually, everything is increasing rapidly,
Mhm.
and it will not going to stop neither today, nor tomorrow, or next year. So, what I can suggest you that if you have some money, invest in
Mhm.
gold, Bitcoin, and if you have money, also buy lands, like purchase some lands. That's the most important thing that you can do.
Yep, that's right.
But don't keep your money in the bank. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, that's the only thing I know. Otherwise, you can't invest in
Unfortunately.
anything right now. Even if you say like it's too early to invest in because you're gonna lose money. But yeah,
On the long run, I mean,
for a
you know.
long run, yeah, exactly. All right, guys, that was all. Do you want to add anything? Like,
One last thing I may add about this Sui Bull Sharks Quest 3, if anyone is ever
oh, that's a good
interested
point.
about it.
Yeah,
If you have some, these bull sharks or cappies that Sui cappy is actually Sui's main item, let's say. If you do have these NFTs, you can, and if you do like play video games, actually, you can participate in this quest, and you can play games and also earn sweet tokens as airdrops. You may not earn much, but also you will not spend much either. So it's actually quite fun. If you have some time, you can play any of these games.
yeah. All right.
At the moment, look at this guy,
That's looking
165,000
pretty
points.
cool, actually. I love the
Ah,
ETFs.
these
It's
guys,
pretty
they
cute.
play 24/7. That's why they have this much points. Like
How
currently,
much
I
does
have
it worth?
nothing.
How
Huh?
much did you say? How much does it worth for first one, like the yellow one on the
Like
left?
if
Yeah.
this guy, for example, wins, at the end, this guy will get about like maybe 20,000 or 30,000 sweet tokens as rewards.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
about like 15,000, or at that time maybe 20,000, or even like $30,000 in rewards they will have. And this is the quest 3. So they had quest 2 and quest 1 before that. And also the winners, at least the top 10 or top 12 in this case, they gain about 20,000, 30,000, 15,000, $10,000 personally. So it's actually quite profitable.
That's
All you
cool,
do
man.
is just you play
I'm gonna
games
check it
and you
out.
earn money, basically.
Yeah. So before we close the broadcast,
Hmm.
I would like to say one coin. Okay, like it's like a suggestion, but not investment advice, like not a financial advice. And I want you to share only one project before we close the stream. Okay, and then I suddenly close the stream. First of all, thanks for your contribution to our broadcast. I appreciate it.
Likewise.
You shared valuable points, and you shared valuable yep, everything. Thanks for everything. So just one project, man.
Which one is it?
I don't know, you say that. Any projects you trust. And before you say the project, if you wanna say like closing words or something like
If I
that, you
trust, that means be Arbitrum and Aptos.
okay.
Let's have a look at Arbitrum, for example. Let me open my screen again. I will just show the price levels of Arbitrum at the
Maybe
point.
we can talk about the next broadcast in the next broadcast.
Certainly, we can do that too, but as you guys
Okay.
can see, this is the
Mhm.
price levels of Arbitrum that I have for myself, which is quite successful in my opinion. And what do you see is that Arbitrum had a peak after the Bitcoin bull rally, in quote bull rally,
Mhm.
but right now it is going back from the 90 cents support level, which is at the moment is resistance level for Arbitrum. So what you can do is that you can buy around, let's say, 83 cents or going back to 75 cents. I don't think that Arbitrum will ever fall about below the 75 cents level. But of course, if Bitcoin, for example, goes back to 20K or 18K, it is highly possible that it may go back to 50 cents. But at the moment, I don't think it will something like this ever happen. And also, it's a good investment possibility for you. Like if you are just want to invest in some coins, you can invest in Arbitrum, Aptos, Sui, XRP. Don't invest in Ethereum yet because it's overpriced. Don't
It
invest
is.
in Bitcoin yet because it's overpriced. BNB coin is overpriced. But if you want to
Everything is
invest in altcoins,
overpriced. If we compare to like last week, everything is
exactly.
overpriced. Yeah. And
But
what was the second one, man? So it's been more than 30 minutes.
mhm,
Yeah, we are closing now. But what was
Aptos,
the second project? And then we can, yeah, Aptos, yeah.
I would go for Aptos. Aptos is also a beautiful project. If you follow the news about the Aptos, um, if you check their ecosystem, you will understand what I mean. But I think you know already. But what I mean is for our subscribers or anybody who's gonna watch this broadcast now or
Mhm.
later. If they check the ecosystem, the tokenomics, the white paper of these projects, they will understand what I mean. And even if not, they can always ask, and we can make a project review about these projects, which we already did in some of them. But I would be more than happy to do once more.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I
with
was
that
super
being
hyped for the
said, I
Aptos.
think this is all we have to share for today, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
You are perfect, man.
All right, then, Barish, thank you so much for joining me in this broadcast.
Yeah.
And to whomever watching this broadcast right now or will watch later, don't forget to like and subscribe for more crypto content. Thank you
And
for
also,
watching, guys,
don't
and
forget to
take
check
care.
out our websites, blog,
Until
and
next time.
videos. Alrighty. See you guys. See you in the next broadcast. Adios.